I'm a library science student at IU, and I am focusing on teen services and young adult services. And so I've chosen to do my video essay. The title is Saving the Public Library: How Social Media, Internet Access, and Teen Services Could Do That Job. There are a lot of articles out there right now, especially for library science students who, and a lot of these articles, I've kind of titled my notes page here, Alarmist or Pragmatic. And I lean more toward the side that a lot of them are a little bit too alarmist. There are quotes like, a library without books was unthinkable, and now it seems almost inevitable. So it's like, oh my God, without the paper books, what are we going to do? And then there was an article, I think, on Forbes.com or something called What Will Become of the Public Library? And it was just like, oh, giving us shivers or something. And there's cartoons about, like underfunded libraries going out of business and causing children to not be able to read anymore. And so anyway, those are some of the things that we're sort of up against. I mean, not necessarily that we're against them, but it's just, I feel like it's a little scarier than it has to be. Everybody is worried about the future of libraries. And in order to find out, in order to get into this, I need to talk about why are libraries actually important? Do we actually still need them? Are they are they just a relic? Are they dinosaur bones? What do we need to do about this? Libraries are actually very important. They're important because they are a third place, a non-commercial third place. And a third place is a place that it's not your job, it's not your home, and it's a place that you go regularly, maybe to do work, maybe to socialize with like-minded individuals. Other third places, the main ones we have left these days are commercial. Starbucks, Barnes and Noble, Denny's. None of those places are actually obligated to accommodate that. They can stop anytime they like, and you feel obligated to buy something just to be there. Libraries embrace the entire community. They have spaces for things, and that's only going to become more and more. That idea is only going to be more and more popular as there are fewer physical paper books and more other things. And let's talk about what some of these other things are like. There has been a recent trend in teen services to do things called teen centers and digital creative commons areas. Those are really useful for teens who are like entering the job market for the first time, who are trying to apply to colleges, who need to get skills, and a lot of them don't actually have access to these things in their homes. Some kids, parents don't believe in these sorts of things. Some kids are very poor. Some communities still have very, very slow dial-up internet. So libraries are very important to provide a place and access to equalize those opportunities, at least somewhat, for people, for teens and for adults. If these tactics were applied to adult services as well as teen services, I think that libraries would be taking an awesome step toward starting to adapt to their future role. A lot of libraries are already doing this. There are a lot of amazing library programs out there. There are a lot of libraries who are resistant to this idea, and I think that that could be a problem for those particular libraries in the future. Um, that really popular video, or not video, it's a photo essay on Facebook recently. It's called Humans of New York. There's a it's this like photographer guy who's been taking pictures of people in New York City and then writing a paragraph or so about what they're doing. There was one of a librarian from the New York Public Library, and I'm going to read this short little exchange here. He said, the librarian said, "I don't think that the library is threatened. Circulation of physical books has never been higher, but I wouldn't even agree that libraries are in the book business. I think they are in the information sharing business. And it just so happens that books have been the primary method of sharing information for half a millennium. The library isn't going to compete with the internet, it's going to become a part of the internet. New York libraries have one of the greatest collections of information in the world, and one of our goals is to have it all curated, linked, and navigable." And somebody, the journalist says, "Hey, but once you've uploaded all of your information, haven't you made yourself obsolete?" And he says, "Absolutely not. Libraries provide a third space that is neither home nor work, where people can come together and do thinking work. There will always be that need. And a third of New York depends upon the library system for not only free books, but free computers as well. This is especially important to immigrants because you don't have to prove anything to get a library card. This is huge. You don't have to prove anything to get a library card. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to be a legal immigrant to the United States. It's a place where you can work on bettering your life. You can work on your education. You can work on your job skills and become that person that you want to be. And that's extremely important for teenagers, but also very important for lots of adults." I have interviewed Yacoba Wells, who is a librarian with the Monroe County Public Library. She works with children's services and she also works with adult services. Her and I were actually talking about that Humans of New York picture, and that kind of sparked some of the questions for the interview that I had for her. She's a master's in library science and she works at Monroe County Public Library. And I think that a lot of the things she has to say are a lot of the things that I wish I had said just as nicely as she did. So without further delay, here are some of the results and quotes from my interview with Yacoba Wells, librarian. Thank you.